Hi guys. So I know this lighting is kind of bad and the angle's bad, but I just have a laptop, so it's really hard for me to um, like record and get good chopping. And I don't have an island, so I can't chop and like put the camera way back so you can see me and the food and everything. But today, what I am making is a meatless taco, and so I already did a live video on my Facebook group. If you're not a part of that, it's called Plant Power Health and Healing. And you can, I'll put a link down in the description box for that. But I basically made a quinoa, and I will show you. I did quinoa with a bunch of taco seasoning spices in there, and that's what we use as meat. You can also take seasoning packets and put that in with the water, and it'll absorb and cook in that. And you can also do the same thing with rice. So you can just flavor your rice or flavor your quinoa with those things instead. So the wraps that I'm using for the family today, because I looked in my fridge, I did like a whole Facebook Live thing, and I went through all my cupboards and everything and showed people what I had in there. But I had these from Whole Foods, and I haven't been really in a tortilla-y kind of mood, so these are going bad. They were supposed to be used a couple days ago. So these are brown rice tortillas. And so I am putting the quinoa in. I usually get bags of corn like this. I'm going to put some corn in there, and then I made up a huge batch of black beans in my Instapot, and so we're going to put some black beans on. So I did little containers for me. I warmed them up in the microwave. But a good thing to do is cook batch cooking, where you cook big, huge things of beans, potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, and you put them in your fridge, and then you have them for whenever you need to make a real quick meal. So I'm going to slip this back in the fridge. And so I'm going to just kind of talk to you about some things that are coming up question-wise that I'm getting as I chop some veggies. So I'm doing some scallion onions because these are going bad and I need to get rid of them, and they're super huge. I'm going to dice up a tomato, and then I have some peppers. Like, that's already got a spot on it. This one I had to cut the spot out of. And I'm not even sure if this one's totally good because it's like all brown right through here. So, and I'm also going to be putting salsa on. It's like 3:30. My family's supposed to be home around 4, but like they never seem to be hungry. But because I intuitively eat, I get hungry at 3 o'clock. So it's really hard when I'm trying to make meals. So what I do is I usually cook it at 3, put it all on the stove or in the oven to kind of sit and stay warm. If they want to eat it later, they can. But I don't have a lot of time. And yes, I am cutting straight on my cooktop. Please don't message me and be like, oh my gosh, you're cutting on your cooktop. I've done it for over 2 years. I have a few scratches, and that's it. These are dull knives. Get over it. So anyway, it makes it really hard for me to cook for the family or eat with them because I need to be out of here by 5:30, and I don't get back until 8 o'clock. So I usually try to not have them fend for themselves because then they'll eat crap. Even though we don't have stuff in the house, they tend to order out. And that's just not acceptable for me. So I actually came upon this list that has helped me out big time because I'm big on meal prepping, and I shop with a grocery list. This is what we're going to eat and all that. But now that I'm eating more simple, it's hard to come up with recipes because we don't really eat recipes anymore. We just eat like raw food. So or very simple, basic food. So, and one of the things that I saw was, here, let me grab it real quick. I'm starting to get into zero waste, which is really hard. Where I'm at, we're in a small town. But in her zero waste book, oh, I wish I could remember her name. It's called Zero Waste Living or something like that. Bae Johnson. It's B-E-A, and then I don't know what her last name is. I wish I did, but I don't. But just look it up. She's on YouTube. She's done a lot of talks. She has a family of 4 that went zero waste. So we're moving towards that slowly. But she had like what she plans for her meals for the whole week. So Monday is a pasta. Tuesday is a legume or bean. Wednesday is a pizza tortilla, which is why we're doing tortillas. Thursday is bread, veggie, fridge cleanup, and salad. So we have a lot of fridge cleanup to do, let me tell you. Friday is potatoes. She is not a vegan, so she eats fish. So Friday is potato fish, which we just do potato. Saturday is wild card, which really works out well for us because Saturdays we have church. And so a lot of times we'll go out to eat at like Subway, or we'll go to Bourbon Street Pizza. They have a gluten-free, and I just get that with no cheese. And then on Sunday, it's a grain/meat, which we just do a grain. So it's really easy for me to kind of look at this list and go, okay, well, today's a pizza tortilla. Well, I definitely don't have time to do pizza because this is our group night and we have Bible study. So tortillas it is. And then like tomorrow we'll do the fridge cleanup. Or like if it says bread, then what we'll end up doing is maybe I'll make, my kids are not vegan. They're just kind of vegetarian in the house, but eat whatever when they're out. So, and when I go out, I turn vegetarian because I'm not an ethical vegan. I just eat vegan most of the time for health reasons. So when I go out to eat, I'm vegetarian, and I'll purposely order no meat, no cheese, no dairy no eggs. But of course they use oil or they use butter or something like that. So I just accept it. But for the bread, like we might have grilled cheese, and I might use like the chow cheese or the Daiya cheese brick and make grilled cheese with tomato soup or something like that. Potatoes, well, potatoes are potatoes. You can make as much as you want. But like the legume yesterday, there's a legume recipe that I found that actually was a lentil bake. And what I do is I take those ingredients and I put in potatoes, but because it had lentils in it, that was my lentil dish, and I put it in the Instapot and I cook it until the lentils and potatoes are done, and then it tastes kind of like beef stew. So it just doesn't have any beef in it. So I've been using this little thing to help me out. Not really plan meals, but kind of, I guess when I go to the grocery store, I make sure that I have each one of those things with me. And I don't know if you can see in this way, behind me, there's a bunch of like cans of beans and stuff that I usually keep in stock. So meal plans, that was kind of in recipes. I get that question a lot. I don't really do recipes. And meal plans, I kind of stick with that, doing a pasta or a legume, and making sure for dinners that is rotated around. It makes sure you get all your nutrients. And plus, you know, it's like, well, I usually have a recipe-ish that we're kind of eating for the bulk. You only need like 5 or 6 because really you'll need the same stuff all the time. And so I was unprepared. I'm not even sure what to do with this, so we'll just scoot it over. Whatever. I think I better cut this and look at it. But another question. Oh, we're so not eating that. Look at that. Ew. Yuckiness. That will go for the worms. We also started worm composting too because we were going through tons of vegetables. So I highly suggest you look that up. It's super simple. And they eat a lot. Like, I'm surprised. I had just put, like, I use this little small bowl, which holds, I don't know, like 2 or 3 cups of stuff. I puree it in, not this, but the food processor part of it. And put that in, like, once a week. I can probably get 2 of those bowls at least. And whatever I have extra, I either freeze or will actually go in our compost pile outside. So one of the other questions that I got was about like willpower. Well, I just don't have the willpower like you do. Well, guess what? I don't have willpower. I have about this much. Everybody has a tank of willpower. And when that tank runs out, you're done. So it depends on the person how quickly their tank gets filled back up, but you don't want to waste it trying to figure out, you know, how to stay away from everything at home. So the best thing to do is don't rely on your willpower at home. You need to rely on cleaning up your environment. And if you're a food addict and you have other people in your house that are not doing your way of eating, it can be extremely hard. And I've had to actually have talks with my family because they did not understand, I guess, how my food addiction worked. And my husband actually smoked for a really long time, and now he chews. And I said, honey, how would you like it if I took all of your cans of chew and I stuck them on the table and you weren't allowed to use them or touch them or smell them, and you had to just leave them sit there for a couple weeks? How good would you be at not touching them? And he's like, well, there's no way I could do it. I said, exactly, and that's kind of like me with food. You wouldn't put alcohol out on the table when you have an alcoholic friend. Like, you wouldn't put alcohol around your house. You would invite them over and be like drinking in front of them. You wouldn't do that with a drug addict either. You wouldn't have cocaine sitting on your counter in a needle or anything like that and like invite this drug addict over. Like, there's no way that the willpower doesn't exist. And I think that that's what a lot of people don't understand, is if you clean up your environment to where you only have food that is healthy, if you are prone to binging, you're going to binge on healthy food because there's nothing else to eat. A lot of times when you're hungry, you don't get in the car and go run somewhere to go get something to eat. A lot of times you're going to look for whatever you have available, and your body will naturally go towards these high-fat, high-calorie, like just calorically dense foods. So if you got a package of Little Debbie sitting around and you got an apple, which one are you going to pick? Well, they're both sweet, but Little Debbie has all that fat in there to help put on, like, I guess, fat. And like, that's what your body does, is it's because the way that we were, I guess, made, we were hunter-gatherers, where there would be times where we wouldn't have any food, and so your body is naturally prone to store all the calories it can when you can find it. Well, now that we have all this abundance of food, of course, your calories are everywhere and all the time, and so you make it so that you don't have to use your willpower at home. It's automatically a clean environment. You don't have to worry about it. So I use my willpower various times. One is I work doing food service. I serve the elderly meals that are pre-prepped, and it is very hard for me not to eat those meals because they have meat, they have gravies, they have a ton of stuff that I know that if I eat it, I will feel horrible, but sometimes I have to use that willpower. So by bringing my own food, and what I do is I look at the menu, and if they are having, let's say, okay, so today they had lasagna. So what I might do is I might make lasagna and then kind of look and say, okay, we're having lasagna Wednesday. I'm going to bring my lasagna, which means I don't feel deprived because they're eating the same thing. And you can pull this trick when you go to families to eat. You know that they're going to have some sort of pasta salad or something like that. Maybe make it so that you can eat it. Bring that dish. Try to find some things that are similar and bring your food so that you don't have to worry about that. You already have food available for you to eat that's healthy. And then when you go to the grocery store, that's when you can use your willpower. Or when you're driving through town, a trick that I found was I was having an issue because I eat at 3 o'clock or ish, because I ate this weird, like this thing, hang on. I found these, and they're junk, but I eat them, these crunchy rice rolls. It's like puffed rice and sugar. Well, I had a couple of those to stave this off so I could put this video on and chop up everything for everybody else's dinner and make myself something to eat. But I'm starving right now. So 3 o'clock on Fridays at 3 o'clock, I have went through all of the grocery stores. I have gotten all the healthy food because I'm not very hungry, because I shop between like 1 and 3 in between picking up my kids and getting off of work. But when I'm heading back out of the town to go to the school, I'm passing Wendy's and Taco Bell and what's the Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, like all of that. And the smells get to me, and I've had issues where I've stopped and gotten something. So in my car now, because I know that this is a problem for me, first of all, as soon as I get out of wherever I buy bananas, I eat a banana. Wherever it is. It's usually Aldi's, but sometimes it's Walmart, depending on who has the brown bananas. Well, Aldi's is green. I can't eat them because you need to have spots on them. So I do that. I eat a banana, and then I keep, now again, this is like junk food, but it's the emergency junk food, okay? Let me see if I'm sorry, this is a bad angle. And I'm like, oh, I can't even reach it because I just did that video. I put them all in the back of the cupboard. I keep these. These are elevation bars. Yes, they do have sugar. This one, usually I don't keep in the car because it's got chocolate in it. But this is a good one to keep in the car. Oats and honey. I know it's not vegan, but like I told you, just relax. This is emergency food, and it's not very healthy, but it does have oatmeal, basically rolled oats in it, and it has whole grain brown rice. It has millet and quinoa and amaranth and buckwheat, and then some sugars. So I might eat a couple of these. So for one of them, it's 140. If I eat two, that usually with a banana will stop me from going to McDonald's or going somewhere. But you have to find something you can keep in your car, and for me, these work really well, and you can find these at Aldi's. So willpower is not something you have a lot of, and you need to, I guess, learn how to use it wisely. So look through, I don't have any silverware or nothing. Look through some snacks that you can take, try to meal prep for everything, plan ahead, clean your environment at home so that you can get through your day without cheating or totally derailing and binging on a bunch of ho-hos and ding-dongs. But I'm going to make a wrap. But I guess since I have nothing. Oh, here's a plate. Yay, a plate! Okay, I hope that this doesn't break because these have been sitting in the fridge for a while. But I can't heat it up, so I'm going to put some quinoa on here. And normally I'll have 2 wraps. So I just put some quinoa. I'm just going to put some onions on, some tomatoes, some different colored peppers, some corn. I found that I can eat whole kernel corn without feeling too sore when it comes to all the dextrose and maltodextrin and corn flour and meal and all that stuff. I can't do that. Black beans, some salsa. That's the trickiest part. And then oh my goodness. Since I don't eat cheese, I gotta load it up with all the good stuff. And greens. I'm almost out of this bag of greens, but okay. That is what I'm eating for dinner tonight. So thanks so much for watching. I hope that that was helpful in, I guess, giving you some tips for willpower and how to kind of plan your day around it. If you are a food addict or you have emotional eating issues, please, 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 please read The Pleasure Trap, read The Gabriel Method, and go on YouTube, because you're here anyway, look up Chef AJ, scroll through all her videos, and watch the Weight Loss Wednesdays. Start at number 1, watch them all the way through. They are so good. I mean, little tips and tricks and stuff that she gives you, just, it helped me so much. I can't even express my gratitude enough. So go through and watch all that stuff. She also has a group that you can join. I believe it's at the time I'm making this, I think it was $150. It's a lifetime membership, and she interacts with that group all the time. And helps everybody navigate through. She eats McDougall Starch Solution but she does the maximum weight loss starch solution. So she's got a book, The Secrets of Weight Loss, I think is what it's called. It's a purple book. It's got her going like this. So that's a really good book. She kind of tweaked everything for food addiction based off of Dr. McDougall, Dr. Lyle, and all that stuff. So please check her out. It is so good. Make yourself a tortilla. It's Wednesday. It's not Taco Tuesday. It's Tortilla Wednesday. And thanks so much for watching.